Here we go. I'll try to only make one mistake a page or so. Part 4, En Quam Quam. And although he hesitated or was stuck, had momentum for a moment, fixed in stupor or stupefied, what have we got? Tama, nevertheless, superior, rising up higher than omni metu, than all fear, he commended himself, or he commended Ventura, what was going to happen in the future, what was coming, to the decrees or decisions of the Calestibuses, the people who live in heaven, namely the gods. En relicto qui his cuba, leaving his bed which was stratoed on the ground, which was laid out on the ground, with the nocte adulta, with the night having been grown to adultness, so it was rather late in the night, the full night was coming on. He was already excited, so he was still wide awake, and supplicans, supplicating or praying to the numinubuses, to the godheads, so that they would depulse or send away all their, it says sacra here, probably means the evil things, that all evil things will be driven away. What do we got here? A flagrantissimum facem, so a very burning torch, that's the superlative version of it. Visum, there was a sight that he saw of a burning torch, similar to a cadenti, something falling. Part solcato, that's where you get a rut, or when you dig a furrow, irises of the air. So through part of the air, made a bit of a trail, and he was thinking, existimet, evanuising, okay? Then it vanished. He was perfusus est, so he was suffused or filled up with horrore, with horror, lest thus, aperti, this was open or apparent, the minax, the threats of Mars had appeared. Okay, a cetus, so cadenti cetus, that'd be a falling star. He was thinking it might be some sort of omen. 5. Erat autem. However, or moreover, the nitor, this is the gleam maybe of it, isti of this was igneous, a fiery gleam or glisten, which apelamus, which we call nos and mos, which we call diasontia. Looks Greek. For neither can umquam ever, something cadence, falling, contingents touch the terram, touch the ground. For the bodies, which which we believe to lay by or able to slip down, calis, so the heavenly bodies, which fall down, we believe. Anyone who believes that is judicator. They are judged merito, on merit or deservedly so, that they are profane and dementes and mad. So the Loeb calls profanus a layman. So they don't believe anything even falls from the sky and hits the earth, though I've heard stories that they do. Autem, however, moreover, it happens, hic habitus, comploribus modus. In many ways, this is, you might say this happens, and it's considered habitus here, you can put what you like, from which sufficient to point out to Monstreo with a few words or something. So it does happen in this way, and it's sufficient. I can point this out in a few ways. 6. There are quidam. There are certain people who putant, who think that scintillas, probably sparks, cadentes, present participle, falling from the ethereal, from the upper heavens, with a vigor, with a strength, sufficient parum, so they're leastly sufficient to tendere, to aim porrectius, that's comparative rather in a straight line, and extingui. Looks like putant here is taking a passive infinitive, and so they become extinguished. They don't have enough force to continue on a straight line down to earth, so they get extinguished. Or certe, or certainly, what have we got? Flamus injectes. So flames of these radiances or something, that's a genitive, are injected into dense clouds, or they hit dense clouds, but by the acri, by the fierce or sharp contactu, by the contact when they hit these clouds. Looks like that's when they produce sparks, they scintillare. Or when aliquot lumen, or when some light coheres, sticks to a cloud or something like that. That's when they think these sparks are coming. Maybe there's a light hitting clouds that causes these flames. Enum 4, id, neuter for this. In the species, in the appearance of a star, and figuratum, in the appearance of a figure of a star, it decurrates, runs down, quidem indeed, or even while duum it is sustained by the viribus, by the strength of its fire. So maybe it's producing, it's light hitting a star, or other things. It's putting out sparks because it's insufficient to keep going in its course, and it's sustained by these stars. Post positive zero, but by the amplitude or the size of the space or the distance of the space, ex inanimatum. It loses all its strength basically. In aerem, in the air, and the corpus, the body of it, solvitur, dissolves while it is present participating, migrating through the substances in the sky, of which Cuius, by its nimia, excessive attrition or wearing down, so as this its body is dissolving by this excessive force of wearing it down, it incalluits, it heats up. 7. Itaque, and so accordingly, adverb, confessed him immediately, ante the primitus lucus, before the beginnings of light, so before dawn, Etruscan horospices, soothsayers of Etruscan origin, they were accursati, they were summoned, and consulted. And what was the species of a star? What was the appearance of a star? Nova means new or unusual, so what was the appearance of this new or unusual star? It portended most cautiously, cautissima, it must be avoided, whatever the hell they were doing must be avoided, they responderanted. Nequid, lest anything tunc, then temptorento, be attempted. Ex Tarquinianus Libris, from the Tarquinian books, in titulo, in the title, concerning divine rebuses, divining things, id relatum esse. This is related, monstranting, pointing out that quod face in calo visa, when you see a torch in the sky, or one of these falling comets or whatever, prolium, battle, or quicquam similar, or anything similar, non oportabit, you ought not to battle be committed, you ought not commit battle. 8. Quo etiam, so etiam even, inter alia multa, amongst many other things, quo spernente, so with which these things were spurned, and many other things. The horospices, these soothsayers, they were orabanting, they were begging, saltum at least, aliquod horis, for some hours, profectionem, the departure, should be deferred or delayed, and ne quidem, and not even hoc, not even this, did they exempti. They didn't obtain this, they didn't get this. With the emperor reluctanting, wrestling or fighting against omne scientia, all scientific knowledge or all knowledge gained from Vaticanandi. If you know where the Vatican is, it's in Italy somewhere, where they make prophecies, apparently, that's what that means. But with now already, the DA was exhorted, the day had begun, so promota sunt castra, and they moved camp. 25, Book 3. Hinc, from here, nos egressos, we egressed, we went out. The Persians, when often adflicti, peditum, so that had afflictions to their foot soldiers, that had defeats and lost men, they were horrenting, they were a bit bristled and fearing of stable battles, of normal battles. So with structus insidious, so they constructed traps or ambushes, occulte secretly, they committabant, or they accompanied us or followed along with us. Secus family adverb, altrinsequus, so looks like from high other sides or something like this, from other places. The catervus, our bands of men vianting, going along the road. From high hills, from Celsus Colobus's, they were exploring, they were watching us from high hills as we were vianting. so that this, or id, our soldiers were a bit suspicious, and at Usqui, for as long as there was perpetual day, as long as the daylight continued, neither a vallum, which is like a thing you put around your camp, did we irrigate. We didn't construct a vallum, nor did we fortify ourselves, say, with pseudobuses. These are stakes, etc., wooden stakes. Okay, so here's the daily dictionary word. I picked vatiniko, the deponent, to prophesy. It's even got raving and talking wildly, but to utter inspired warnings, which I guess is where the Catholics got the Vatican from. Anyway, 2. And while latera, the flanks or the sides, were firmly, fermata tegunted, covered or protected, and the exercitus, pro situ of the place, from the situ sometimes can mean even being mouldy and from disuse, but here it means just looks like from the situation of the place, or from the what was apparent there at the place. Quidem indeed, in quadratus, in a square formation, the agamines, the columns inseated, they progress forwards, but laxus, so a bit loosely they made their square formations. When subito, suddenly, invasion turga, the back was attacked, pone from behind, versus if it's with a place, you can have it by itself. Usually when it's people, it's just added the strength in it. So from the angle from behind, with the Principi, the Emperor, it was indicated to him, arma cogentium, so they're being forced along with arms. So the Emperor himself, even then, etiam tum, inerma, he was unarmed, in progress. He'd gone forwards into the anterior bits, into the front of the ranks, to speculanda, to have a bit of a look around. And suddenly he got the news that they were being attacked from behind. And that's it for the day.